How's it going? Thank you guys for coming. Good evening. My name is Lorenzo and Rafshan, and we're at the Shul on the beach, starting a new series about understanding the depths of our lives through our holy wisdom that we've had for 3,000 years and continues to be relevant in the most amazing way. Tonight the past two classes, we actually went through what it means to leave Egypt. We said that Egypt means constriction. Egypt, Mitzrayim, comes from the word Meitzarim. Let me put the thing on there. Mitzrayim comes from the word Meitzarim, and which means constriction, hidden, and it basically represents all those things in our lives. Just put it, Lenny. It represents all those things in our lives which hold us back from being our best. And realizing what those things are, and leaving that place means leaving your own limitations that either people place on you or you place on yourself. Okay, whatever. And are you guys not going to get distracted, or should we turn off the recording?
We're good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So leaving Egypt means leaving those things, going beyond yourself, going beyond those things that hold you back. And tonight we're actually going to go through the Seder itself and essentially see how we can experience our own transformation and this whole leaving of Egypt through the Seder. But first we have to start with the song. Funny, you came in at the perfect time, bro. As soon as we were singing Shalom Aleichem, you walked in. It's pretty good timing. Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Pesach, good Yom Tov, Oy Chag Sameach. Your lesson again for the road. We all heard of the 12 steps. Pesach is the 15-step program. So there was this old couple, this old, nice, sweet, beautiful couple, and The husband, or the grandfather I should say at this point, calls his son actually. He's a doctor in San Francisco. He said, "Son, I want to say, I'm sorry to tell you this, but me and your mother are getting a divorce." I was like, "What are you talking about? Now? Like, in the last few years of your life, you're going to get a divorce? Why? What are you doing?" He says, "Look, 60 years of purgatory is enough for me. I can't take it anymore. I need out." She's always complaining. No way. She's always complaining. And you guys, please take pizza. She's always complaining, and I can't take it anymore. I'm out. And he says, "Wait, Dad, please, I'm begging you. Just let me call my sister. She'll talk some sense into you. Just wait." She calls his sister 5 minutes later, calls back, says, "Dad, what's going on?" He says, "Honey, I love you, and I'll always, in some deep way appreciate your mom for everything she's done, but I'm out, we're getting a divorce, that's it." So his mom, so the sister's like, "This is crazy, Dad, you're like being senile, this is nuts, your mom is so good to you, like don't say this about her. Listen, you're acting irrationally. I'm coming tomorrow morning. I'll be there at 9. I'm taking the red eye. I'll call my brother. He'll come too. And just, please, just wait for us. Don't make any rash decisions." So he says, "Listen, if you're not here by 9 in the morning, I'm going to the courthouse. That's it. I'm done." He says, "Okay." So the man hangs up the phone and he looks to his wife and he says, "Honey, I have some good news. The kids are coming in for Pesach." And they're even buying their own tickets. So we're talking about the 15-step program, leaving Egypt, experiencing it on Friday night and Saturday night this year. We're going to experience the ultimate leaving of Egypt. And Hashem, through many ways that came down, we have the Seder, this beautiful Agada that we have. Some say it was written by Eliyahu Hanavi. And it's the 15-step program. I mean, we would have 12 steps, except Jews are much more messed up than non-Jews. We need a bigger fixing. We're all messed up from everything we've been through. So, first of all, just quickly, so we're on the same page. It says that in the Haggadah, that in the Mishnah it says, every person in every generation needs to view themselves as if they themselves have left Egypt. At the Seder, you actually experience a leaving of Egypt. So obviously we're not just talking about leaving Egypt because most people don't live in Egypt. So there must be something deeper. And the Alter Rebbe in the Tanya in chapter 47, he says, it's not just in every generation, but it's a daily process. Every single day, we each need to leave Egypt. So what does it mean to be in Egypt? What does it mean to leave Egypt? Please take beer, pass it around, take pizza. The world is yours. L'chaim, l'chaim. So first of all, before we understand what it means to leave Egypt, you have to understand, meaning leaving slavery, becoming free. What is freedom? In Judaism, Wilbur, you want a beer? Or a paper? I don't know where they are. In the back.
Right, Alan, what you get?
No, I think I saw them back there. So, what does it mean to be free? In Hebrew, which is a very profound, amazing language, everything is tied with each other numerically. There's so many. It's a scientific language in many ways. In Hebrew, there are two words for freedom. Someone says, I'm free, I'm in freedom. Chofshi, chofesh. Chofesh is like a vacation. I'm free, I can do whatever I want. I'm chofshi. I'm free, right? Even tikach et ze chofshi, take it for free, right? Chofshi means freedom. Then there's another word. And when we on the prayers, when we're saying in Pesach, we say, Chag Pesach, whatever, because I don't remember anymore. It's been a year. Chag HaMatzot, right? Because the Torah says Chag HaMatzot. Zman Cherutenu, the time of our freedom. So we have two words for freedom: Chofshi, Chofesh, and Cherut. Why do we choose Cherut? Why is Pesach the Cherut kind of freedom? Cherut comes from the word like charut. It means engraved, sealed in the depths, in the essence. When the tablets were charut, were engraved. So Cherut is a certain type of freedom that reaches the essence. Now we have to understand what that means for a second. Chofesh type of freedom is a freedom of absence, meaning I don't have work, I don't have someone over me with a whip, and I could do whatever I want because I don't have anything holding me back from doing what I want. That's chofesh. You're on vacation, you could go anywhere, no one's holding you back. Cherut kind of freedom is about a purposeful, intentional freedom that's not defined by what it's not, but what it can be, what it can bring. Right? So like chofesh freedom, okay? Chofesh freedom is like I can be angry when I want to be, I could be upset when I want to be. And it's, see, the thing about chofesh, it's very beautiful, it's very sweet. But there's only one problem. You're still at risk of becoming a slave. Maybe not a slave to anybody else, but you're at risk of becoming a slave to your own addictions, your own negative impulses, your own desires which maybe are not so healthy. So it's true, it's a type of freedom. But it's not the depths, it's not the essence of what becoming free means. Because yeah, we're born with certain instincts and impulses. That's great. And if we were animals, we'd run around going whatever, following our basic instincts, whatever that dictates at that moment. And that's nice. It's a nice way to live. Many people choose that type of life, you know. Hey. Thing is that we also have a divine soul which dictates we be so much more than just that. If you think about it, in the entire universe, there is... I'm so sorry, just 1 second. Just 1 second. What happened?
What are you doing?
What? Oh, I just put the cover on.
Oh, you did?
No, I asked you to put the cover on.
You can't because this
No,
thing
you
is
can. No,
on.
now you can. Now you can. Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay, just put the cover on.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead.
I was thinking just lower the brightness if you want.
No, there. Done. So, I'm sorry for the interruption. I'm so sensitive. I get distracted. So, anyway, then there's another type of freedom, this essential, purposeful, intentional freedom. Now, I was saying that in the entire universe, right from, let's say, from the moment of the Big Bang, so there's physical laws, physical properties, and everything that followed that happens in consequence of those laws. Universes are stars are formed, worlds are made, elements coming together. These are just natural the natural result of the Big Bang following the physical properties which existed in the universe. Yeah, you guys are with me? So everything in the universe essentially follows these physical laws, and you could have, if you knew the science well enough, you could have guessed everything that would ever happen in history from the moment of the Big Bang until the end of time by just knowing physics. How does that sound to you? It would be great if the human being didn't exist. Because all of a sudden, there's one being in the entire universe that we know of that is able to have an instinct, a natural drive that it was born with, and with its mind and heart, choose to overcome that. Choose to do something that your impulse doesn't dictate. We have something called free choice. And all of a sudden, for the first time in the entire universe, all of history, I'm not just talking about the past, I'm talking about everything. There's one being that has free will that can overcome itself, that can change its own nature. And that is because, why is that? It's because we were given, because God says, I'm creating man in my image. And just like God has the ultimate free choice on a certain level, we also have free choice. We also have an element, a soul, which is able to go beyond its physical parameters in which it exists. The type of God didn't take us out of Egypt 3,500 years ago for us to sit back and watch TV our whole lives without ever accomplishing anything more than that. You could say, God is infinite. And we're like a little crummy people living a very finite existence as slaves in Egypt. But God says, I chose you. Because you know what? Maybe to you, you're nothing, but to me, you're everything. To me, you're the foundation on which the world exists. To me, you're the light that's going to show the whole world how great it can become. And therefore, even though you think you're nothing, even though you think you're just a little people, slaves in Egypt, I'm taking you out. I'm giving you the Torah, my ultimate divine wisdom and revelation. And I'm choosing each of you. That's why in the Ten Commandments you'll say, and it said the first commandment is Anochi Hashem Elokecha. I am the Lord your God. In the singular. God is talking to 6 million people, or 3 million people. He should have said, I am the God, your God, in the plural. He's talking to a big group of people. No, because each person at that moment felt that they are alone with God. That God entrusted themselves alone with a mission that the whole universe depends on. Each of us. To be really free is not just to not have someone over you with a whip telling you what to do. To be free means to control your destiny. To fulfill a purpose. To do something with your free choice. Okay, we have free choice, great. But the question is, what are you doing with it? If you're really free, then you're free from yourself. You're free from your own anger. You're free from... This woman was 104 years old. And they said, what's the greatest thing about being your age? She said, no peer pressure. No, peer pressure is also another thing. Peer pressure is also another thing. How many times do we do things just because what are they going to think about us? Do you know that a soul is made in the image of God? Is God like, oh, what are they going to think about me? God does what's right because it's the right thing to do. We're made in the image of God. We have the ability to do what's right, not because of what they're going to think of me or what I'm going to think about, just because it's the right thing. We're able to feel a confidence, a tranquility in our heart because that's what our soul naturally feels. Do you know how many weddings, imagine if people didn't care, what they thought. If you can't afford a $10 million wedding, then don't make a $10 million wedding, but you want to impress, especially in the Persian community. You want to impress so much, our whole energy depends on impressing. So even if I have to borrow the 10 million, I'll make the wedding, It's peer pressure, Can't people just be there because it's such a happy occasion? I don't know, maybe. So guys, this is the difference between chofresh and cherut. This is zman cherutenu. Hey, welcome. Shalom. Would you like to come join us? Have some pizza. Have some beer. Please.
We're traveling from La Paz down in Baja, and we have the smallest Jewish community in the world.
Are you Jewish?
Where?
Please come in. Please come in and have some pizza. We're begging you. It would be our biggest honor. Come have some pizza, please.
Not alone.
Good. Everyone come in, have pizza.
You can spell it? What?
Paz, Peru.
La Paz.
Albania, Bolivia.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Please have pizza, have a beer.
Bienvenidos.
Bro, Dan, give him a beer. Give him a beer.
Multicultural. You have a Seder coming up?
Yeah, we do. We're just in the middle of a class, but please join us. Please eat. Please enjoy. Thank you. Baruch haba. Baruch haba. I'm the speaker. I'm the speaker. Thank you so much for coming, joining us. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Salut. So in conclusion, just so we're on the same page, bro, I need a phone or a watch or something.
Okay, here.
Thank you, bro.
906.
So when we're becoming free on Pesach, we're having the level of freedom called cherut. The depths, the essence, the engraving. We're becoming so free that we can choose how we conduct ourselves. We're not a slave to our anger. We're not a slave to our jealousy. We're not a slave to our addictions. We're not a slave to anything or to anyone. We're a slave to the truth. We're a slave to doing the right thing. We're one with our own soul. And this is Pesach. And this is the 15-step program that the Haggadah outlines. This is what the transformation we're experiencing. Not being held back by anyone, not even ourselves. L'chaim. So, Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz, Magid, Rachza, Motzi, Matzah, Maror, Korech, Shulchan Orech, Tzafun, Barech, Halel,
Nirsa.
Nirtza. These are words, 15 words, almost 15. 15 parts of the Seder, which we'll go through now. We won't spend too much time, but we'll go through them, and we'll understand what it means to be free, and how to use the Seder for what it was meant to be. So the first level, the first thing we do, Kadesh. Kadesh. Huh? Kadesh. 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 What is another time, not including, not Kiddush, it's the same idea, but you guys heard of the thing we do under the wedding canopy, under the chuppah, called Kiddushin. Kiddushin. It's the, right, where the man goes to the woman, he says, Hare at mekudeshet li. Mekudeshet li. When they still had hopes of a beautiful marriage. Hare at mekudeshet li. Right? So what does it mean to be mekudeshet? It means making space in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, in your ears, in your life for another person. That's why they always say, I found my other half. Because if you think you're complete and you're taking up all your space, all the space is you, then there's no room for another person. Then there's no room for marriage. There's no room for otherness. That comes from Kiddushin. That's Kadesh. The first thing we have to know is, Kadesh, to make room in your life for something more, for something deeper, for a relationship with your soul, for a relationship with each other, and a relationship with our Creator. This is what it means, Kadesh. You're starting. The first thing is, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to leave point A if you're so full of yourself. There has to be room in your life. You know the t-shirt? I'm very easy to get along with as soon as you learn to worship me. Right? Yeah. That's not the beginning. The beginning is to know that there can be an otherness in my life. Because, and just to keep in mind that the whole part of the Seder, it's basically what it is. It's a confrontation with your own soul. And your soul naturally wants to unify with each other. It says in a Hayom Yom that when two people sit together, because we have an animal soul and a godly soul. It says when two people sit together, there are two godly souls against one animal soul. So it's, what? That doesn't make sense. Do the calculation. We have one godly, one animal. One godly, one animal makes two godly and two animal. It should say there are two godly souls against two animal souls. No. Because the animal soul, the animal existence, your physical life, doesn't want to share. It wants to self-preserve. It wants to be by itself. It wants to take up its own space. Your soul is the level within you that's able to appreciate another, that's able to look at the good in another, that's able to welcome another. So when you sit down with another person, you have two godly souls against one animal soul. Because your two godly souls unite against your one animal soul. That's the first level. Next we have urchatz. Urchatz is where we go and wash our hands. So what's happening here? Are we so dirty? Like, make sure you wash your hands. Nobody touch each other until you wash your hands. Washing the hands means that it's true, I have a body. It's true that I have maybe some addictions, some habits that are not so good. Maybe I have a few immoral behaviors that I engage in. And the truth is, we think it doesn't have such an effect on us, but really it does. Is the truth. Yeah, it's a white lie. No, calling the doctor. No, listen, I'm in crazy traffic. I didn't even realize that we're going backwards on the freeway. It's crazy. But really, you didn't even leave your home yet. So we think it's nothing, but those things start to creep up and build up, and we can't appreciate the depths of our soul without appreciating its purity. And you appreciate its purity when you wash your hands. Let go of those negative things. Try to start fresh. Try to become new, brand new, clean. Then we sit down. And finally we get to eat a little piece of onion or a little parsley, whatever it is. The karpas, right? You take that little vegetable that grew from the ground, and what do you do with it? Dip it. Guys, you with me? Dip it. By the way, on a side note, I have to say, I heard a beautiful question from the Lubavitcher Rebbe today. He said, do you know that it says in the Ma Nishtana, right? Ma Nishtana halayla ze kol haleilot. Right? So what's different this night of all other nights? It says that tonight we dip twice, and normally we don't even dip once. Is that true? Do we never dip? You never dip your food? Tell me the last person who ate French fries and didn't dip their French fries. No way! Shkoyach, get a chair, relax, sit down. Shkoyach, have a beer.
No way.
So someone pass them a beer. So how could you say that we... Oh, wow, amazing, bros. Chill, relax. Amazing timing. So... No way, bro. I'm honored, man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. So, guys, we say that normally on Pesach and the Seder night we dip twice, and normally we don't even dip once. Have our children never, they never saw us dip our food? And even if you say, look, I never eat French fries, I never eat ketchup and French fries, I never do it, I don't dip my food. I'll tell you one time you definitely dip. You definitely get an apple on Rosh Hashanah and dip it in honey.
Amen.
Amen.
True. Ketchup. I did my French fries
And me too.
every day.
I'm saying even if you don't, you still have Rosh Hashanah and dipping honey, dipping the apple in honey. So why is it such a wonder, such a question, that we don't even dip once and Pesach we're dipping twice? And the answer the Lubavitch Rebbe suggests is because never in the entire year do we dip for the sake of dipping. Yeah, Laini.
Huh?
No. Let me get a picture there. Never do we dip for the sake of dipping. Unless, even the person who says, like, do you want some fries with that ketchup? They still are eating the French fries, right? And dipping the French fries, no matter how much they like the ketchup. On Pesach, there's something unique happening. And we're dipping for the sake of dipping. There's something in the dip, in the salt water, that's so awesome, that's so unique. And here's one answer I heard, very beautiful. It says that on a deeper level, what we're doing is we all have a body. And it says, Afar mina adama, right? That the body comes from dust and goes to dust at the end of days, right? So the body represents the ground. The body is that level within us, is that animal soul, is the thing that those addictions, that selfishness, that ego, that's the body. What's water? Ein mayim ela Torah, right? Water represents wisdom. Water represents holiness. You want to purify yourself, you dip in the mikvah, you dip in this pure, fresh water. So the Haggadah is telling us something so beautiful and deep. It's saying that, okay, you're a body. Okay, you have this animal soul. Okay, you have these crazy desires and yearnings and addictions and habits. Fine. But are you being defined by your negativity? Or are you putting it in your context? Are you just a body? Or are you putting the body under the water and saying, okay, I'm a body, okay, I'm not perfect, fine. But in my imperfection, I have a purpose, I have a goal. I can purify myself even with my mistakes, even with my mess-ups, even with my imperfection. So Karpas gives us the courage to face our negativity, our ego in the face and say, okay, you're there. But I'm in control of you. You're not in control of me. We dip it in the salt water. Then we have yachatz. Yachatz, where we take the matzah, which is so beautiful. We have to have 3 whole, complete matzahs. And we take the middle matzah, the essence of the matzah, and we break it in half. And we hide the bigger half as afikomen, and we leave the smaller half on the table. One of the first steps to touching and tapping into your soul, to experience this inner transformation from an egocentric to an ego-less state of mind, is the ability to be vulnerable. Is the ability to say, okay, I can be imperfect. The greatest thing you can have is that friend that you love so much you can be broken with. You can just talk out loud. And they're not judging you, they just love you. You can't reach true spirituality, true depth. You can't taste your soul if you're not willing to be vulnerable and to let go. It's this beautiful Torah. I just wonder if I could say it quickly. Because the worst part about it, if you're not able to be vulnerable, and every conversation you have with everybody else is just so superficial, the worst thing you're doing to yourself is you're depriving yourself of a relationship with another person. And even yourself. Because if you don't have the strength to be vulnerable, then any negative trait within you, you're going to run away from, you're going to ignore. You're going to say, no, I'm perfect. Because you don't have the strength to feel imperfect. And that breaking of the yachatz, breaking of the matzah, the middle matzah, that's a taste of saying, okay. See, it's protected by the upper and the lower ones. And it's broken, and to say, okay, I can be vulnerable. I can let another person in. I can have a true friendship. I can look at myself and be honest with myself and feel broken, because I know in the end I'll fix it. Then we have Magid. Magid, where we start going in the whole story. It's a long story. It's not just the story. It has all these different ideas, how many miracles God made. It says God made 10 miracles in Egypt and he made 50 at the sea, because it says in the plagues in Egypt, it says it was the finger of God, and in the sea, the miracle of the splitting of the sea, it says it was the hand of God, so it's times 5, so there's 50 miracles, and there's 200 miracles. We're going into this crazy analysis of the story. And we're teaching our children. And the idea is that once we've made space for our own soul and for another, and once we've cleansed ourselves a little bit to begin that process of letting go of our immorality, letting go of that negativity, letting go of our jealousy, of our hatred, letting go. And then you realize that even with your imperfection, you can still be in control of it. Once you do this process, and once you're able to feel vulnerable and you reach this place, now you've created an opening in your life for real holiness. What's holiness? For real wisdom. For real wisdom. Because that unique attribute that we said before is that we have the mind, the power to overcome our ego, to overcome our negativity no matter what. And that's the power of the mind. It says that the soul, the resting place of the neshama, is in the mind. Now that you've opened yourself up, now you can infuse your mind with that holy wisdom, with the Torah, with those things, with the teachings, our holy wisdom that have governed and taken us to this point where every nation has fallen, we're still here. And it's that connection to that holy wisdom that we never let go, that we're doing tonight, that we're doing right now. The Magid, this is Magid. This is really, really beautiful idea. There's so many beautiful ideas, but maybe just one. So we know we have the 4 sons. L'chaim, l'chaim. We have the 4 sons. By the way, guys, we're past the halfway point, just so you know. So, we have the 4 sons. The wise son, the simple son, the one who doesn't know how to ask, and the wicked son. And each of the sons ask a question, except the one, obviously, who doesn't know how to ask. The other 3 ask questions. And there's different answers. And there's different answers that we give each one. So let's just look for a second at the Rasha, the wicked son. Let's just look for a second at the... Try it. Let's look for a second at the wicked son. He says, what are these laws? What are these things? What are these things that you guys are doing? So the answer is the most heartbreaking thing in the world. That at this point, any sensitive person will close the Haggadah and never opened it again. Because the answer is so petrifying. The answer says, bro, do you know what to say to the wicked son? So why is he wicked? Because he says, he tells you, what are these things? And he says, what are these things to you? And he separates himself from the people, his people. What are these things to you? It's not me. I have no part of it. What are these things to you? And he says, kafar be'ikar. Because he separated himself, he went against everything. He denied everything we went through. So we have to do, simple. He says, haka et shinav. Hit his teeth. Hit his tooth out. Doesn't say it literally, but it says hit his teeth. Haka et shinav. And tell him, had you been there, you wouldn't have been redeemed. You would have been lost. So, I mean, it's like, if anybody's ever read that, I mean, it's just like, well, I guess, I don't know. What do you think? But get out of there, So I heard this beautiful teaching. It says, I heard many beautiful teachings on this idea, but one of them for now is this. I have to say this one. Even though I was going to say something else, I got to say the other one. Anyway. So, what's the Rasha thinking? Why is he the wicked one? Because he thinks he's so far removed from anything good, from anything holy. Maybe in his nature he's rebellious. Maybe he doesn't want to follow the status quo. And he feels this is not part of me, I don't want this. Or maybe he made a mistake once in his life. Maybe he ruined something. Maybe he messed up. And people didn't give him the love he needed. And he became rebellious. So I think the Holy Belzer teaches, Hake et Shinav. What are the letters that spell Rasha? Resh, Shin, Ayin. Now, Hake et Shinav literally means hit out his shin, hit out his teeth, but shin, hit out his shin. Hit out that middle letter. When you hit it out and you only have the other two letters, what do you have left? Ra. Ra means evil. Meaning at the center, at the depths, at the core of this wicked son, there's when you peel away the strips and you only look at the shin. What's a shin? Shin is 3 on the tefillin, right? There's 2 shins. One shin has 3 legs and one shin has 4 legs. You tell him, you're the Rasha you think you are. You're a shin. 3 is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. 4 is Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. You're a descendant. You have such purity and holiness within you. No matter what you do, no matter what Ra you fill yourself with, at your core, at your essence, you're completely good. You're completely holy. You're a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You have a godly soul which nobody can touch, not even yourself. And all your mistakes, all you have to do is take out your shin and see how beautiful and holy you are. Then we have Rachza. What happens sometimes when we start going up on the spiritual ladder and all of a sudden we're like these very spiritual, godly beings. I don't know if you guys I saw this one YouTube video, how to be, I forgot, like super extra spiritual. Have you guys seen this video? How to be like super extra spiritual. So it's really funny. One of the things says, it's like done in a very serious way. He's like very serious the whole time, and he's saying very funny things, so it makes it much better. So he says like, what you want to do as a spiritual person is put down other people that are not as spiritual as you, and that'll make you look much more spiritual. Because really being spiritual is not about actually being spiritual, it's just about looking spiritual and having people think you are. Namaste. Okay, so what happens when you start going on your spiritual journey is you start thinking, you might actually think you're better than another person. You might have the first unholiness, or okay, it was beautiful, your bad addictions, your whatever, your habits that maybe weren't so good. That was the first washing. The second washing is the washing of your own holiness. That you should be deep and spiritual and connected to your soul. But it shouldn't be at the expense of thinking you're better than somebody else, because the moment you do, then you lost everything. Then game over right after Magid. You're done. If you want to keep going and actually reach the level of being in touch with your soul, you need to have the strength to look at the good in everybody else and only at the good, and find how they are greater than you in some way, and feel humble before every single person. That's the second washing. So we're getting close to the end, guys. It's very sad. That's how I feel. At the end of the Seder, I'm like, it's over.
We're just swim in the ocean. What do you mean?
Okay, great. Okay, we'll go do mikvah in the ocean.
That's right.
Motzi matzah. The Chida says motzi means to take out, and matzah means quarreling, contention between people. So meaning that at this point, you have to remove all the conflicts, all the quarrels, all your inner negative feelings to anybody else. Because like we said, the soul naturally is unifying with every single person. So if you feel hatred to somebody else, or I just don't like this person for whatever reason, even if the cause is good, to feel that, you could say, I don't want to associate with that person. Okay, they're unhealthy for you, they're unhealthy for your children, they're unhealthy for your family, fine, okay, distance. But to feel negativity to that person, to feel hating that person, that's already arrogance. That's already, you're better than them. Because you don't know what struggles they went through. You don't know what they've been through. Only they know. So at this point, you need to remove motzi matzah, remove all the quarrels, all the hatred to another person. There's another beautiful meaning of motzi matzah, which basically means, we'll tie it in at the end, but basically motzi means to extract. And matzah is called lechem oni, the bread of poverty. So motzi matzah means that in every single thing, there are sparks of holiness. Many religions, many spiritual paths will tell you that the path, the key to spirituality, to being in touch, oh no. Don't go to the Pesach Seder. I have the key. Go on a mountain, meditate, remove yourself completely from this world, and then you'll be able to taste your soul. And Judaism says, yeah, that's very cute and sweet, brother, but God didn't make a physical world to simply deny it. In every single thing, there's sparks of holiness that God wants us to engage in, but to use it in a positive way and to keep it in perspective. Not to indulge hedonistically in the world and to remove all spiritual value, and not to run away from the world. A mix. Using the physical world and tapping into those sparks of holiness. Let's just do one quick niggin. Ben, you want to play? Much better than me. Capo or no capo? Okay. When? Quick hafsaka. Refocus, re-energize. You give me a paper. I gave it's on the top. It's on. Do you, bro? Whatever the spirit tells you. Shkoyach, bro. Thank you so much. L'chaim, bro. L'chaim. So we have a few left. I'm sorry it's going long, but it's good. So the next thing we have is called maror. Take our romaine lettuce and you dip it. I know, you dip it? No. Yeah, you dip it in the charoset, right?
Yeah.
You dip it
No,
in the
not charoset. Maror is maror. Charoset is the sweet.
You dip it, so it's not completely bitter. No? Everybody experiences it.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
Yeah,
Shake
I
it
do
off.
that.
So,
charoset.
So we have the maror, the bitter herb. So it says, when was the first time that we ate maror? First of all, let me ask you, why do we eat maror? Right? It says, the simple explanation is, v'maru et chayim, because our lives, as you know, understandably, our lives as slaves in Egypt was so bitter that to remember that bitterness, we have a little bitter herb, a little horseradish or lettuce, romaine lettuce, whatever it is. So when was the first time we ate the bitter herb? The first time in history the bitter herb was eaten. God commands us to eat the bitter herb in Egypt before we left. That first night of Pesach, where we roasted the lamb, we ate maror. So let me ask you guys very simply, if the whole reason we have the maror is in order to remember the bitterness, did the Jews, like, imagine, God forbid, a Jew leaving Auschwitz, and he says, "Oh brother, here's a piece of lettuce so you remember your bitterness." Like, brother, we're in Egypt, we're slaves, we've just experienced our first-born male children getting killed by the Egyptians. We experience harsh labor. We experience death and sickness and destruction of our people on so many levels. The first exile ever. And we need at that moment to remember our bitterness, so we have some bitter herb. So really the depths is that the Torah is giving us two ways. That the Torah is giving us a way to deal with our pain in life. To deal with our pain. That normally there's two very big approaches. One is repress, run away, ignore. Don't feel the pain, don't talk about it, just leave it alone, pretend like it never happened. And God forbid, I mean, when people have gone through very serious tragedies in their life, the easiest, in many ways, reaction is to ignore it. And the truth is, when my cousin passed away in 2005, and my uncle and aunt, they didn't know how to deal with it, right? So they took away all of his pictures and from the home, never spoke about it. They did, a little shiva we did, but we didn't speak about it. For years. You couldn't speak about him. You couldn't mention him because it was too painful. I mean, understandably. The problem with ignoring it is that it never really goes away. Right? It's always on your heart. The other thing people do is they talk about it 24 hours a day to anyone who will at all listen to their pain. And it could be anything. Oh my God, the cleaners totally ruined my dress, and they're going around to every friend of theirs for the next 10 days, telling every single person all day, they ruined my dress, they're not even giving me my money back, and it's like, they can't stop talking about it. That's also not so healthy. To be so sunken in your own pain
Dwelling.
To dwell in it, to kach in it. To be in such pain that you can't think of anything else, that's also not the healthiest approach. So what's the Torah, what's Hashem doing, and the rabbis teaching us when they say, eat the bitter herb, even in Egypt? The way to deal with our pain is not to repress it, nor to dwell in it completely. It's to acknowledge it. It's to feel the pain, but be able to have the strength also to go on, and also to realize that sometimes you go up and sometimes you go down. And it's painful and it hurts, and not to ignore it. Not to ignore it, but to deal with it. God forbid, my friend his father passed away, and this shir is in honor of his father. I think Eliezer David ben Mordechai.
Yes,
And we have to sit Shiva. You have to sit those 7 days and feel the pain. And then the next month you have to feel it and experience it a little bit less, but also. And that whole year on some level to be working on it, dealing with it. But then at the next year to be able to say, okay, I dealt with it, I felt it, and now it's time to move on. Not to forget about them, but not to be so obsessed with it that I can't do anything else. And it's the pain, everybody's pain is individual, is personal. Everybody knows what's painful in their lives, and that's why I'm not saying like, oh, if this happens to you, this is how you're supposed to deal with it. Everybody knows in their own heart, in their own soul, what's appropriate, what's a good balance. Who can take the strength from eating that maror and to remember, okay, we were slaves in Egypt, but now I'm going to be free. To feel the pain, but to move on. And a little bit, maybe that's why we dip it in the charoset. So then we have something very, very beautiful. Korach. Korach is the sandwich. Now, originally, guys, you should know. And you should look forward. Because one day when Mashiach comes and we have the Beit HaMikdash, it's going to be like that again. But Hillel's sandwich that we get the matzah, and we get the maror, and we get the charoset, and we eat this sandwich. So, originally, that wasn't the sandwich. The sandwich was a piece of lamb just roasted off the fire, nice and fatty and good. On top of some nice little, lettuce and matzah, which some say even it was soft back then. It was like a lafa kind of, but it was still matzah. And you'd eat this shawarma of a sandwich, and it's just amazing, right? That's what it's supposed to be. And one day it'll be like that again. But for now, this is what we have. So the Torah in this way, it's teaching us that there are three things in life. There's Pesach, matzah, and maror. There's the lamb, fatty, nice, and tasty. There's the maror, which is I can't get enough of the lamb. There's the maror, which is bitter.
Nice and tasty.
Yeah, that's my best job at like doing a cooking show. And there's the matzah, which is bland. Saying that these are three different moments, experiences in life. We have some moments that are the lamb moments, that are awesome, beautiful, great, tasty, awesome, beautiful, perfect, rich, happy.
Full of flavor.
There are some moments that are difficult, that are painful, and there's some moments that are just bland. And the idea of Korach is to have the strength to be able to take all three. Anything that approaches us, anything that comes our way, any moment in our lives that are one of these three, and to be able to put them in a big lafa, put them in a sandwich, and to eat them all together, and to realize that they're all just different tastes in life, in the experience of life. You can feel bitter, but don't forget that as bitter as it is, it's going to be lamb again. It's going to be good again. And it's bland right now, but it could even get better. And it's part of the beauty of life. That's what a sandwich is. It's a mix. Okay, Shulchan Aruch, we'll go fast now. Shulchan Aruch, prepared table, it means have a prepared table. Bring in some guests, have another person, share it with them. Set the table and enjoy it with your... The next level in reaching our soul is to actually, not just emotionally invite them in, but physically have them sitting there, enjoying the meal with you. So many times you have a guest, and the parents will say, I can't believe this person's coming, and the children are like, oh my God, maybe we don't want guests, I thought we wanted guests, and then after they leave, oh my God, they're so rude, why did they stay so long? They didn't get that it was tarof, and then the kids realize oh, we're not supposed to have guests, So really to have a guest, and to really out of the truth of your heart and soul, to invite someone and to bring them in. Because it's good. Because it's the best thing we can do. So here we just have three things left, guys. Safun. This is where we take the bigger afikomen, the afikomen, right? The bigger half of the matzah that we broke at Yachatz. Our children find it. And, I don't know, give them an iPhone 7 or something. Whatever blessing or present you want to give them. House in Aruba, l'chaim. $1, I don't know. So, the idea of the matzah is like this. The matzah represents the Jewish people. We each are little matzahs. We're each little matzahs.
I'm a big matzah.
And the whole night, some are bigger than others, some are smaller than others, some are nicer than others, but we're all little matzahs. He's the matzah, he's the lafa matzah. So, the matzah the whole time, the whole Seder, the matzah is sitting on the table. There's only the smaller half at the table. And we know that we're sitting there, we're not complete. And we feel our imperfection. We feel that we're each just a half. And let's face it, we're even the smaller half. Thanks so much for coming. I heard a beautiful Torah from Reb Shlomo. He says, why do we break our matzah in the beginning and have our children bring it back to us? Because we're telling God, Master of the world, I'm ready, I'm willing to live in a broken world. I'm willing to break myself and to live my whole life in a broken world if it means that my children can come back and grow up in a whole, complete world. And our children bring us back our own brokenness. And they say, here, we found it. But the truth is that as beautiful as it is, as nice, we're still just half a matzah, and we're even the smaller half. Think about the Jewish people today. In Israel there's the Haredim, and there's the religious and the not religious, the Chilonim, and there's all this conflict, for no reason. All this conflict. And in the world there's this conflict, and there's these powers of on the one hand we want to be good, we want to do the right thing, on the other hand it's so easy to just do whatever we want, We want to be better, we want to do the Seder, we want to go through these motions, we want to experience leaving of Egypt every single day. We want to make space for another, we want to invite another, we want to feel joy, we want to be able to eliminate all quarrels, we want to be able to taste our soul. We want to go in the mikvah. We want it, but it's so hard. And so many people, for whatever reason, whatever we're going through in this generation, so many people, God forbid, they've left and they've decided to not have a Seder with their kids. And they decided that this is not the kind of life they want. And they don't want to uplift and uphold this tradition and this light that we've been holding on to for so long. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov 200 years ago said, there's a strong atheism, a wave of atheism coming into the world. And the truth is, I don't even think I should say anything. Because who's going to listen to me? Because it's going to be, when it actually comes, it's going to be so strong that even though I told you it's coming, you're not going to believe it. But you know what? I decided nevertheless to say it and to write it down. For the few that are going to be able to hear my words and realize it's true, realize this is the generation that we're going through, this is the test we're going through, and to be able to be strong. And how much we've gone through and Auschwitz and murdering and pain and suffering, and I don't question anyone who has a problem on any level, it's just sad because there's such beauty in your own soul that if you don't tap into it, you're missing out on cherut. You're missing out on this freedom of living for real, of being true to your essence. So the idea of tzafun, where we're bringing back the afikomen, is this: even though I'm broken, I know that in the end I'm going to be whole again. Even though the world looks so chaotic, I know one day it's going to be beautiful again. Even though my own life seems so broken, I know that it's going to be whole again. And one thing we can all do if we really want, we say there are the four sons, then there's the fifth son. The fifth son is the son who's not even at the Seder. The truth is, if whoever has the ability, the potential, it would be such an awesome thing to open your home and to invite one person who wouldn't otherwise be at a Seder. To invite that brokenness and to become whole again with the Jewish people, that we should become one again. Imagine if in Israel the Haredim would each invite a Chiloni Jew, a non-religious Jew, to their Seder. What an energy that would create. Even if they say, no, I'm doing my own thing, even if they say, no, I don't care. But the love would bring us whole again. Baruch, then we realize, once I become whole again, now I can bless, now I can praise, now I can thank, now I can acknowledge God who is there every step of the way and help me reach this place. Then we have Hallel. Hallel means to praise. The truly religious, I'm saying religious, what's religious? I don't even know what religious means. But the truly in tune person in tune with their own soul, doesn't take anything for granted. Just like the matzah is plain and flat, like chametz is risen up. Chametz deserves everything in the world. Matzah is, I'm nothing. I'm just a soul in this world, and everything I have is a gift. And everything is hallelujah. Everything is praising, is thanking for everything. Nothing is taken for granted. And then we have the last step, the last process in the 15-step program. So in quick summary, guys, so we're all on the same page. First thing to do is Kaddish, make a mental space, make an opening in your life. Then you wash your hands, you clean off those negative traits, those negative addictions, and start over, start fresh. Then it's taking our physicality and dipping it into the water of Torah, dipping it into that holy wisdom. Then it's Magid. Or then it's Magid. Then we're telling the story, we're learning, we're tapping into that holy wisdom. We're telling the story. Then it's Rachza, even the ego that you can get from being a spiritual person, an extra super spiritual person, even that ego you rinse away. Then there's Matzah, removing all the quarrels, starting over, getting the sparks of holiness from the world. Then we have Maror, the way to deal with our pain and our sadness in our lives. Acknowledge it, but don't dwell in it. Then we take the meat and the lamb, and we take the lettuce and the matzah, and we eat it together. And remember that life is always changing, is always new. Everything is connected to everything, and everything is beautiful. Everything comes together to form a delicious sandwich we call life. Then we have Shulchan Aruch. We invite our guests to the table. We have Tzafun. Once you become whole again. You become whole on an emotional, physical, and on a global level, we become whole again. Then we're able to bless, and then we're able to thank God for when we have no more ego and we worked on ourselves. Guys, even one of these things, accomplishing one of these things for real would just make us incredible. And one of these things, hopefully we get a taste of each of them. And once we do all that, then we're able to look at our lives and appreciate everything. Because everything is a gift. Everything is not undeserved. And every blessing I have in my life is because there is such goodness in the world. And every friend I have is the most incredible person. And everybody in the world is my brother and sister. Now we come to the final section. Nirtza. And the question you could ask yourself now is, hey, that sounded great. That was beautiful. But why? Why should I go through this whole freaking process? Why should I work on myself? Why should I do all these things? Why do I need a relationship with my soul? Okay, cherut chofshi, I just want to be chofshi. I want to do what I want. And it's not just that. It's not just that. It's that what does my little effort, my little action mean in the cosmic significance? I'm nothing. I'm a speck of dust. I'm nothing. God is infinite. Even the universe is not infinite, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's infinite. I'm a little speck of nothing on a big ball of nothing. I'm nothing. And my actions, my efforts should mean something to God? What connection do I have with that? Nirtza means pleasure, joy. Because we know that for some reason, God is infinite, transcendent, beyond everything. And He created a finite, physical world and created people, each us, that we should take this physical world and refine it and work on it and make it a dwelling for His essence, that He should live here in it, like this should become His home. We're building the greatest home in the world, the home for God, the home for that thing we call God, that infinite, transcendent oneness that unites everything. Even Einstein, E equals mc squared. Everything is one. Everything is one. And we're creating an abode for that reality. She'll say, but I'm so unholy. I'm like the Russia, right? I'm so unholy. I make so many mistakes. Maybe I do a couple good things here and there, but for the most part, forget it. You know? So, here comes Nirtza. You thought what you were doing is nothing. You thought your effort that you put into this world is for nothing. But it's Nirtza. It's pleasing to God Himself because He wants it to be pleasing. He wants you to go and to change yourself and to use your free will, your free choice to transform this physical world into a godly place. He wants that from you. By you doing that, by you refraining from talking bad about somebody else, from you inviting someone into your home, from you doing the steps of the Seder, you are creating Nirtza. You are creating the culmination, the world that God wanted to dwell in. You are fulfilling the ultimate purpose of creation through your little action. Okay, ready? One idea, one story, and we're done. The one idea is like this. It says about Aaron HaKohen, Moses' brother, Aaron, the high priest, as we call him. He says that there's a midrash that says that when, Moshe was the younger brother. So when God tells Moshe, go redeem my people, Aaron says, so Moshe says, no, my older brother should do it. Who am I? I'm nothing. My older brother is my older brother. Respect. And God says, no, you're doing it. And he goes to redeem the people. Now, anyone ever thought about Aaron's reaction? Here he is. He's the older brother. He's the older brother. He should be doing it. He should feel slighted. How did God do this to me? I'm the firstborn. And nowadays it's one thing. Back then, the firstborn, it's like what it's all about. Even though Miriam was the firstborn, but he was the firstborn boy, he should have been the brother to do it. And it says that Aaron remained completely silent. That when Moshe came, and he said, I'm redeeming the people, Aaron, in his heart and in his mouth, didn't contest, didn't say anything. He just wanted to help his brother do that mission. So it says so that's written in the Torah, right? So there's a midrash that says that Aaron, when he saw that what he did was written in the Torah, so he was so overwhelmed that he said, had I known what I did was going to be written in the Torah, I wouldn't have just been silent. I would have gotten a band and like a whole crazy party, a welcoming party for Moshe. I would go leaps and bounds to make the most amazing reception. Look, Aaron is the high priest. Aaron is basically the holiest person in the generation. Aaron cares so much about his own honor that it shouldn't just say, right? It shouldn't just say he was silent. It should say, no, Aaron made the biggest party. He was so happy for his brother. Aaron cares like, oh, CNN said good thing about me. Like, he feels so happy. Like, had I known, I would have done even more, right? Aaron cares about his ego. Aaron has no ego. So what's happening? What's really going on? Aaron was silent. Aaron was silent because he felt like he was nothing. Everything in his life was a gift. Moshe was the one chosen to redeem the Jewish people. Awesome. It was so real for him to be silent. But he had no idea how much it mattered to God. He had no idea how important and how precious that silence was. That had he known how precious it was, that God would write it in the Torah, that it meant so much to God, he would have done so much more. He just felt that he was nothing, that nothing he did mattered. He did it just because it was the right thing to do, not because it was his own honor. Had he known that God cared so much, he would write it in the Torah, he would have done so much more. And it's so true for each of us. Each of us. How many things do we do that we feel like, what's the big deal? Oh, I should give charity to this person. No, I'll use the $5 to buy my own burger. Right? And we think that it just doesn't matter. All our actions, all our efforts. And I'm telling you, in the Seder, Nirtza, the end, the conclusion is, don't think that you don't matter. Everything you do matters. Everything is written. Everything is sealed. Everything can make a tidal wave in heaven. You walk by, you smile at someone, you give them strength, you send someone a happy text when you didn't even realize they needed it, and you made their day, and you gave them so much strength to pursue. You think it was nothing. It's written in on high forever that you did that was good, that mattered, that was pleasing, that was near to God. I can end in one of two ways, but I'll end in this one. Forgive me if I have the order wrong a little bit, but basically. There's a holy master, holy Rebbe, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. And he said the following story, short story. It's like 2 paragraphs long. Hope I won't make it longer. So he says that there once was a prince, and the prince thought that he was a turkey. The story is called the Turkey Prince, because the prince thought he was a turkey. He's the son of God. He's the son of God, right? He's the son of the king, and he thought he was a turkey. So what does he do? He went crazy. He thought he was a turkey. What would a turkey do? He takes off his clothes. What do I need clothes for? I'm a turkey. Right? He goes under the table, and he only eats little scraps and crumbs of food that fall down like a turkey would, and that's all he does. And the king his father tried to get everyone in the kingdom to cure him, and no one can cure him. He's in this craziness. All of a sudden, a wise man comes and he says, I can cure the prince. He says, okay, please, I'll give you anything you want, just do it. So, the wise man, the long gray beard, takes off his clothes and goes skinny dipping under the table of the king. And they're there, eating at crumbs. And the prince says, what are you doing? Who are you? He says, I'm a turkey, just like you. He says, okay. Hey. All of a sudden, he's sitting there and he's like, excuse me. The wise man starts pulling at the legs of one of the ministers, Could I get some normal chicken down here? There's nothing to eat. I can't stand these crumbs anymore. And he gets this nice big chicken, and the turkey's like, oh, what are you doing? I thought you were a turkey. How could you eat people food like this? And he says, just because I'm a turkey doesn't mean I can't eat well. It's like, hey, could I also have some chicken? That sounds good. So then he says, he's sitting there and he's like, by the way, I feel much more, could I get a t-shirt? And he's like, well, you're a turkey. You're not supposed to wear clothes. Who says I can't wear clothes if I'm a turkey? I want to wear clothes. I'm a turkey. He says, oh, all right, I'll have one too. And then he says, can I have some pants? And the same thing. How could you have pants? You're a turkey. He's like, just because I'm a turkey doesn't mean I can't wear pants. And slowly, the wise men cured the prince completely. We can all sometimes feel like we're little turkeys. We can all feel like I'm in this world and I just want chofshi. I just want to do what I want. I want to be left alone. I just want what I want. I want my own heart, and that's it. All of a sudden, the Seder comes. The Seder is like the wise man. The Seder comes and reminds us, just because you're a turkey doesn't mean you're not also the prince. Just because you're free doesn't mean you can't use your life for this ultimate purpose which can transform the world. L'chaim, l'chaim. Shkoyach. Niggin?